Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel, or if you're new, welcome to the channel. Today I'm back here in Trailmakers and we're going to be looking at a mini trophy truck. So I should say me and Drippy, or a Streamline Kid, we started building this on Xbox, and really it was like, I guess you could say, well, either a prototype or just a rough draft. We both, or he had the truck already, and then it was just a body and I think the front suspension, and then I put rear 3-link on it, put on some spare tires, and just pretty much made it look a little more prettier. But this one I think definitely came out a lot better. I changed the front suspension. On the original one, it would camber in whenever you would land, or whenever the suspension would compress, I should say, on the front. So I guess you could say I fixed it, kind of, but it doesn't get its full range of travel. So, you know, it's kind of like you gotta pick your what you want, pretty much. So anyways, we're just gonna go ahead and pull this out. All right, so this was definitely a bit of an interesting color. I don't usually do like a bright color, but it's a kind of like a baby blue, I guess. So it doesn't look too bad. I think I like how it came out. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the lights. Matter of fact, let me put it to a little later in the day, make it look a little better. And I mean, I think it looks decent, you know. It's not horrible. It's not quite scale. Wheelbase wise, it's scale, except for on the width on the front. This thing, if we did scale, one block is about 13 inches compared to these tires. So we got 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, so 9 times 13, that's like 117. So a normal trophy truck is not 117 inches wide. It's about 92, somewhere around there. But in order to make it that small, I mean, that was just it'd be kind of hard to do, but maybe I'll do that in future. This is also pretty close to max complexity. Obviously that's, I could make this a lot less complexity and a lot less blocks, but I just try to make it look as good as I could with the amount of complexity I have at hand. So it's definitely close to the bigger trophy trucks. But suspension wise, we have 3-link in the rear. You know, matter of fact, I should probably put this in the air real quick. So we have 3-link in the rear. So we have our, well, so I mean, it's still 4 links, but it just gets connected on 1 link here in the middle. So it's still technically a 3-link. I might try and put a 4-link. I don't think I'll be able to, but either way, it don't really matter. I mean, some trophy trucks use 3-link, but they're just not like this kind of 3-link. It's a much different 3-link. It only has 1 spring, and then the rest is just, you know, steering hinges, but it still gets, I believe it's like 2 blocks of travel, which really, to go, or actually it might be 2.5. I think it's 2.5, but that 2.5 should be about 32 inches, at least if you're basing it off the scale of the tires, which these are supposed to be 40-inch tires and like 13 inches wide. So it's close. And then the front gets about 2 inches of travel. I think it actually only gets like 1 block of travel, because it doesn't go all the way up into my wheel well. But you know, that's, I still got probably some fixing to do, if I even can fix it. It also does move kind of like a lot. It's very weird. I guess it's just because of how small the suspension is. I mean, I know the bigger trophy trucks do that, but I guess it's also because this one is really light, so it just kind of moves wherever it likes. We have our light bar, we have our headlights, and then I based this bumper off of it was like a 2012 Jimco trophy truck. I think it came out all right, you know, something just to kind of make the front look a little more aggressive. And then we have a reservoir, or like a piggyback, because it's not really like a actual reservoir where you have the hose. So it's like a piggyback shock on the front, and then on the rear, I put the, where did I put the reservoirs? Oh yeah, you can barely see them, but they go from that tube right there and then down to there. So looks all right. I mean, just a little extra detail. Then we have our well, this would usually be part of the roll cage, but I guess you could call it a roll bar. And we have our fire extinguishers, our fuel cell, and then our tires back here. And we have brake lights, and we have chase lights. So it's a pretty legit truck. I think I like how it came out, and of course the suspension is obviously decent. Nothing crazy. It can take jumps. You know, obviously you're not supposed to send it off of anything crazy, but it's definitely pretty fun to drive. I think this would be a cool racing vehicle, like just to race around and mess around with your friends. There's still plenty of complexity that you can mess around with on here. Yeah, as long as your console or system allows for such complexity builds. So, you know, there's that. But yeah, I mean, I definitely like how this one came out. I think it definitely looks pretty sick. Please let me know what you guys think of it. And I may do a kind of like how Defiant did with his truck. He made it a Fox style trophy truck, so I may do that with this one as well. I think that'd be pretty cool. Real quick, I just want to get it on a stand, so let me actually build one of those. Okay, just so we have a little more of a closer look. So our rear tire drops just a little bit below our front tire, which is obviously how it's supposed to be. You can barely see the difference, but there you have it. And of course the front suspension does have a little bit of scrub, and so what that means is your tire is moving from it's not going, it's still straight up and down, but it's pulling in, if that makes sense. And you know, that just makes it look a little more realistic. Also, the suspension is pretty plush, as you can see. It only compresses up to there though, so you know, kind of sucks. I really want to figure out how I can make it not do that. I might have to just put another spring somehow. I don't know. I'll have to experiment with it. But that's pretty nice little, pretty nice. It's a decent suspension setup for such a tiny truck. And then on the rear, it does have articulation. So if we're talking in travel terms, that's a lot of articulation right there. Obviously it doesn't look like a lot, but it's definitely a lot of articulation. But anyways, that's pretty much it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed. Also, I will probably be doing a tutorial for this if enough people ask. So I'll be doing like a full tube chassis and all that if I can. I'm gonna try and see if I could do that. But yeah, just let me know down in the comments what you think of the build, if I should do a tutorial for this, and yeah, that's about it. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, have a blessed day.